this animated show will present you Boeing, 100 Years of Pioneering Aviation. Boeing was founded by William Boeing and George Conrad Westervelt on July 15, 1916 in Seattle, Washington. The original name is Pacific Aero Products Co. The company's first plane was a single-engine, two-seat seaplane, the B&W. A year later, when America entered the First World War, Boeing obtained orders from the U.S. Navy for 50 planes. The company moved its operations to a larger former shipbuilding facility, known as Boeing Plant 1, located on the lower Duwamish River in Washington State, and changed the name from Pacific Aero Products to Boeing Airplane Company. As World War I ended, a large surplus of cheap, used military planes flooded the commercial airplane market, preventing aircraft companies from selling any new airplanes, driving many out of business. Others, including Boeing, started selling other products. Boeing then had to build and sell dressers, counters, and furniture, along with flat-bottom boats called sea sleds. Later, it began to concentrate on commercial aircraft by joining with Frederick Rentschler of Pratt & Whitney to form United Aircraft and Transportation Corporation. The new holding venture encompassed both manufacturing and airline operations. In a short time, it bought a host of small airlines, merging with others, and then secured contracts to supply airmail service, and later, passenger service, that evolved into United Airlines. Because of the 1934 Airmail Act prohibiting airlines and manufacturers from being under the same corporate umbrella, the company split into three smaller companies: Boeing Airplane Company, United Airlines, and United Aircraft Corporation, the precursor to United Technologies. Boeing retained the Stearman facilities in Wichita, Kansas. Following the breakup, William Boeing sold off his shares and left Boeing. Claremont L. Echtvet then became Boeing's president and chairman as well. As World War II started, Boeing built a large number of military aircrafts. It became the top defense contractor for the government. The B-17, the Flying Fortress, and B-29, Super Fortress, are among the most famous Boeing models of those times. The B-29 had a great range that was fundamental in winning a war in the Pacific region, while B-17 was used for high-altitude missions in Europe. At the peak of the war, the production had been scaled up in such a manner that over 350 planes were built each month. As the war ended, most orders of bombers were canceled, and as a result, 70,000 people lost their jobs at Boeing. The company aimed to recover quickly by selling its Stratocruiser, the Model 377, a luxurious four-engine commercial airliner derived from the C-97. However, sales of this model were not as expected, and Boeing had to seek other opportunities to overcome the situation. In 1947, Boeing flew its first jet aircraft, the XB-47, from which the highly successful B-47 and B-52 bombers were derived. In 1958, Boeing created the 707, a four-engine airliner, capable of carrying 156 passengers on a transatlantic route. Due to shorter journeys and more comfortable travel, 707 quickly won the hearts of passengers. The model was followed by the 727 Trijet and 737 Twinjet, the latter becoming the world's best-selling commercial plane by the end of the 20th century. In 1961, the company shortened its name to the current Boeing Company. In early 70s, Boeing suffered from the simultaneous decline in Vietnam War military spending, the slowing of the space program as Project Apollo neared completion, the recession of 69 to 70, and the company's $2 billion debt as it built the new 747 airliner. Boeing did not receive any orders for more than a year. Eventually, the first 747, a four-engine long-range airliner, flew its first commercial flight with Pan American World Airways. The 747 changed the airline industry, providing much larger seating capacity than any other airline in production. The company has delivered over 1,500 Boeing 747s so far. During the 1980s, as passenger air traffic increased, the competition was harder, mainly from Airbus, a European newcomer in commercial airliner manufacturing. Boeing had to offer new aircraft and developed the single-aisle 757, the larger twin-aisle 767, and upgraded versions of the 737. Boeing was also very active in upgrading existing military equipment and developing new ones. Boeing was one of 7 competing companies that bid for the Advanced Tactical Fighter. Boeing agreed to team with General Dynamics and Lockheed so that all 3 companies would participate in the development if one of the 3 companies' designs was selected. Realizing that increasing numbers of passengers had become reliant on their computers to stay in touch, Boeing introduced Connexion by Boeing, a satellite-based internet connectivity service that promised air travelers unprecedented access to the World Wide Web. In 2017, Boeing announced plans to acquire Aurora Flight Sciences to expand its capabilities to develop autonomous, electric-powered, and long flight duration aircraft for its commercial and military businesses, pending regulatory approval. In the same year, Boeing won 912 net orders for $134.8 billion at list prices and delivered 763 airliners, including 737s, 787s, and 777s. The 737 series became the highest-selling commercial jetliner in history, with the 10,000th plane that was rolled out in March 2018. Boeing is also the leading defense contractor for the U.S. government, with a $1 billion contract with the Pentagon. Boeing recorded $93.3 billion in sales, ranked 24th on the Fortune magazine Fortune 500 list, ranked 64th on the Fortune Global 500 list, and ranked 25th on the World's Most Admired Companies 2018 list. Boeing stock is included in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So, what do you think about Boeing?